Hey, what's going on there, folks? Earthmaster here, checking in on this Friday night, July 24th, 2020, 9:25 p.m. here, West Coast time, and take a look at the Earthquake 3D globe here. Shows a little bit of earthquake activity up here on the ramp up here out in the Atlantic. I had a 5.2 out here in the mid-Atlantic region, or northern part, I would say, northern part of the Atlantic Ocean out there. Nothing big. We did see a little bit bigger earthquake activity here west of the Puerto Rico region. 5.1 magnitude quake striking near Cuba at a depth of about 10 kilometers or so. A lot of activity picking up here in the tropics as far as weather related stuff goes. I might cover that here in just a little bit. Activity west coast still looking pretty active, right? Nevada's been seeing quite a bit of earthquake activity, as well as portions of Northern California as well. Let's go ahead and flip over to a different model scale real quick. There we go. There's the 5.1 as mentioned there west of Puerto Rico into the Cuba area. Historical seismic activity shows sporadic activity out here. As you can see these white circles, the star indicating where this most recent 5.1 struck there. Of course, Jamaica down here to the south, and I'm sure a few folks possibly may have felt that out there. At least one person, right? Anyway, they do get earthquakes out there, no doubt. Out there in the, the vacation spot, where everyone wants to go to be a important person, if you will. West Coast activity, 1 day magnitude 2.5 and above. Interesting earthquake activity out here in Arizona, northern Arizona, just northeast of Las Vegas. You can see that red circle there indicating that 3.5 struck just a short time ago at a depth of about 10 kilometers below the surface. Now, not a whole lot of earthquake activity out there in Arizona, but I guess they do get it, right? You got the Grand Canyon, you got a lot of mountains out there created from pressure and fault systems and plate boundaries over here to the west, and all sorts of stuff. But this 3.5 not showing up anywhere around any specific fault zones, at least not here on the USGS map. A lot of fault systems over here called the Hurricane Fault Zone. That's kind of interesting. Well off to the west, probably 15-20 miles or so. So not 100% sure what's going on out here in this part of Arizona. We can take a look at the satellite imagery real quick and see if we can, let's go over here, satellite, see what's out there in the desert. Yeah, I'm not seeing any type of fracking activity out there. This is just probably plate tectonics out here. I'm sure it does happen on occasion, right? Not a whole lot to look at out here at all. No houses, no buildings. Looks like some possible dirt road networks out there, but nothing of importance. What's this cave down here? Or some type of pond. Kind of strange out there in the desert, huh? Maybe it's for the cattle. Got to make sure those cattle drink. They got to have their water. West Coast, 2.5 and above. Not, as I mentioned, it's kind of shaken out here a little bit on the northern part of the northern part, San Andreas Fault Zone up here. I'm seeing a 3.1 earthquake near Romas, California, 7 kilometers below the surface. A little bit of activity off the coast down there of Los Angeles as well, with that 2.5. No major earthquake activity to report in Southern Cal. Nevada, they did see a 4-pointer last night. Let's see, that's gone off the 24-hour map. But bring this back down here to the, let's see here, what do we got? 7 days, 2.5 and above. Should be able to see that 4-pointer that I'm talking about out here. Is that it? Yes, it is. 4.2 striking there yesterday. But activity still kind of increasing out here. We're kind of seeing a pickup, little uptick in activity. Let's go to the all magnitudes here, and you can see still quite a bit of earthquake activity out here in Nevada. As the west coast continues to receive pressure, and you can still see significantly that fault rupture. Right, you can see that linear type line right there. A couple red circles indicating recent earthquakes within the last hour. A lot of those look like they're microquakes, but still activity nonetheless. Long Valley supervolcano. Still seeing some swarming going on. We talked about that during a previous update. Most of these are all microquakes, but still within the area, the caldera region of the Long Valley supervolcano. No major change there to report, though, as far as like the magnitudes go. Down here near Ridgecrest area, kind of seeing some earthquake activity here and there and around Ridgecrest, up along the Lone Pine Owens Valley fault system as well. Back in 1872, a good-sized earthquake struck that region. This earthquake activity just south of that area. And of course Ridgecrest down here. I would say this activity is dying down, hopefully, finally. After a year, we did see pretty much, I can't even tally up the number. One of these days I will, though, but they're in the hundreds of thousands of earthquakes since the July 4th and July 5th earthquake sequence there last year near Ridgecrest. Pretty impressive number, no doubt. I'll get that one of these days. Southern section of San Andreas Fault still looks pretty quiet out here. A couple small microquakes near Indio and Cathedral City. Other than that, most of the activity showing up here well west into the Pacific Plate area, right? Anything west of the Pacific Plate, anything west of the San Andreas Fault is the Pacific Plate. Anything east is the North American Plate. So a lot of activity over here. Microquakes once again on the western part here of the San Andreas Fault near the San Jacinto Fault system. But other than that, just pretty typical earthquake activity for a 24-hour period here in California. Not a whole lot going on up in Idaho. Looks like activity kind of calming down. Up here along the Washington region, there is an uptick in some microquaking right around Seattle area. The Puget Sound region there in Washington, depth of about 22 kilometers at 2.5 struck. I'm not seeing a whole lot of earthquake activity around volcanic areas. Mount Rainier showing some small quaking microquakes there, but well west of the area. Nothing specifically at any volcanoes here in Washington. So looking pretty good in that aspect. Alaska still seeing quite a bit of aftershock activity, no doubt, following that pretty good size 7.8 the other day. A couple larger aftershocks there, 5-pointer, and quite a few 4s and 3s out here as well. And of course the smaller quakes included, which is very typical for aftershock sequence following a large quake. So yeah, we're just kind of watching the region, folks. Here's another little map we can look at. Same stuff basically that I showed you guys. Tropical storm Hanna, I was checking out a little bit earlier ago. Looks like it could potentially reach Category 1. It probably will. And then just before landfall there, south of Corpus Christi region, should drop down to tropical storm level. I thought about chasing this when it was developing, but you know what? It was close. I almost clicked the button to pay for some tickets, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for a little bit stronger system to roll into the Gulf area. It looks like the hurricane door, if you will, storm door is now open. There's a lot of activity churning up out there in the warm waters of the Gulf and way out in the Atlantic area. Quite a bit of activity starting to form when it comes to the tropical developments out there. So, it's coming. We're making that hurricane vacation here pretty soon. Just waiting on the right ones here. So anyway, folks, hope everyone has a good night. 4.7, the latest earthquake out here on the globe, south of Fiji, with some more deep earthquake activity. Kind of bouncing back over here to the west now. Activity showing up. So we'll see what happens out here along the western coast. Just kind of interesting week, if you will, of earthquake activity. Some more deep earthquake. Didn't even see this one. This little 5-pointer here striking 583 kilometers in the Indonesia Islands area. There's some pretty deep earthquake activity taking place there. But for now, hope everyone has a good evening out there. If you are out there in Texas, south of Corpus Christi region, yeah, you got a lot of rain coming up, a little bit of wind, you know, but at least it's not a category 3 or 4. You know, tropical storms they can be a little nuisance. And I would love to experience even a tropical storm, but I'm kind of holding out, like I say, for hurricane status, and that's on my list of things to do here within the next month, if not the next week. Hurricanes do develop pretty quickly, so just one of those things. Have to wait and see what happens. So have a good night, folks. Take care, and we'll chat you guys another time. Peace.